Hello, my name is Bartholomew. Today I'm going to be teaching about ceremonial and ritual magic. This starts at Columbine, goes to 9/11, and then to the 91 Harvest Festival. I'm going to teach you about the dark arts.
I think we're living in the worst possible times right now. That if we don't make some changes, there's going to be some major disasters about to happen, and it's man-made. It's not solar flare. It's not any of that. It's a dark force.
Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of little examples right here of how these towers are brought down. I'm going to put in the descriptions a YouTube video of this guy who talks about how these were brought down with nuclear blasts, and it's a phenomenal video. So you have this building coming down. Now notice the top part, how it starts tumbling down like a block down the stairs. Now with gravity it should have kept doing that, but it doesn't. It stops and then goes straight down. But not just that. So where the building breaks right here, you're going to see it come down, and then notice the top part of the building. Alright, so it should still be coming down and then drop straight down. Okay, but see the top of that building? Now watch it come through the smoke right here. Look at it. Where'd it go? Like, you can't do that without nuclear force. Alright, so we're going to take a look at this corner right here. Now, this was brought down by thermite. They had a, in 1991 or 99, they don't know because all the paperwork's fucked up, but they had a uninterruptible power supply that was coming through there. Now, that was just their excuse for going in there and setting up the thermite and stuff for what this is, because you have to have the corners come down of the building, and then the nuclear blast destroys the rest of the building.
Liquid molten iron invading the grain boundaries of the steel. Well, wait, what's liquid molten iron? We haven't used iron in our skyscrapers for 100 years. Where does it come from? Well, molten iron is the byproduct of thermite. Thermite is an incendiary used by the military to cut through steel like a hot knife through butter. So maybe we're getting somewhere.
Okay, there is a very detailed Reddit post about these two right here. On the left you have Bernie Lomax. I don't know if that's the real name. On the right you have Jack. Now Jack works for the news company. Now you have to understand, Bernie Lomax over here, they own the news. They own the media. So if he wants to come in there, flash his little badge or whatever they got, and then commandeer Jack and his camera, he's going to. So anyway, so they walk around and he basically coaches Jack on what to shoot and what not to shoot and all that. If you want to go to Reddit and just search in Jack Tallarico or whatever his last name is, I encourage you to do that and you'll definitely know more.
Let's get out there together and take pictures. You don't know, you might find a hand.
Okay, so as Bernie was saying, finding a hand. Now he's talking about the hidden hand. Now, when I found this, the first thing that popped into my head was, see a little Hershey bar right there? And I correlated that right there with Pennsylvania and Flight 93, since Hershey being from Pennsylvania. You have to understand that when these guys are doing these ceremonies and rituals, nothing is by accident, and everything is planned out to the T. So even something as simple as like this has an entire backstory. All right, Shanksville, Flight 93. So what did we miss? Flight 93 for occultists. This number stood out like a sore thumb. No pun. As it is only a base pattern of time construction, but the numerical sum for gematria of the word Thelema, Aleister Crowley's system of magic or religion. He chose this name for good reason, too. I think what they're trying to do is finish what Jack Parsons and Aleister Crowley was trying to do in the desert, but, I mean, fuck Aleister Crowley, man. Whether or not anyone realizes it, the number affect them to a great degree. They are built into our internal time clocks and operate according to their energies and patterns, not only daily, but yearly and throughout portions of our life. 93 is an energy-defining number and has everything to do with the movement and actions of humans in our world. Not the devil, humans. All right, the numbers 3, 5, and 7 are very, very important numbers in Freemasonry. Here we have the checkered floor, 3 stairs, 5 stairs, and 7 stairs up to what would be a window or an exit. All right, looking down at the bottom here, spiritual awakening signals a time for spiritual growth and reaching higher consciousness, associated with the number 7. All right, back down here at the bottom. They were taught of the different levels of graduations of the universe, some of them material and some ethereal, the planes and subplanes of it, upon which the great scheme is being carried out, which levels and planes all progressively linked together constitute as it one vast ladder or many round staves or rungs. The world's great altar, the stairway which slopes through darkness up to God. All right, now here we start getting into the fun stuff. So this might just look like a normal picture to you, but it's not. So this is how these people communicate. So you see the wristwatch right there. Remember, a time for spiritual awakening. And then in his hand, he's holding a can of 7-Up, which is the seven steps up to consciousness, the steps up to the spiral, all that. Okay, so anyways, look at the guy in the red right here. He's got his right foot up. Look at the guy behind him in the blue. He's got his left foot up. They're talking about steps of consciousness. Now, this is how they communicate. So it's in your face, it's right there, but nobody knows it but them. That's when they're talking about, plausible deniability, and all that. But I mean, this just goes to show you how powerful they are and what they can do and get away with. And we have none the wiser. But that shit's gonna change because we're gonna figure all this shit out, and we're hopefully before too long be a few steps ahead of them. But anyways, yep, left foot, right foot, 7-Up can. All right. All right, down to the bottom once again. The significance of the right and left leg is based on the motivation and nature of the sacrifice being undertaken. Torchilla's engraving shows the man hanging from the left leg would suggest a materialistic sacrifice, but the inverted meaning can indicate the opposite is true, just as with the gold and silver keys for the Temple of Solomon. Right becomes left and left becomes right. Duality. All right, another little example. We have the inferior universe, intermediate sphere, and casual universe, and then the ladder with 7 rungs. Keeping a magical record is very important during ceremonial magic. You want to record during, before, and after. You want to catch all the states of emotions, everything. A magical record is a journal or other source of documentation containing magical events. Aleister Crowley claims should be applied to the practice of magic or to ensure the data may propagate beyond the lifetime of the magician. Benefits of the process may vary, but usually include future analysis, and, well, they just like to laugh at it. It's kind of sick, but... Alright, and so here's an example of them documenting the ritual. All hell is loose, breaking above him, but he's just fixated on the people and their emotions. So here you got him coming out. You got the educated Slim Shady. Yep. Dr. Stephen Greer. He don't even know where the fuck he's at. All right, let's move on. I just wanted to show you guys like what the process is and all that.
Can you bring it up? Dynamite. Hoist in the Hindenburg's ass. The more photos you get, the more they'll live forever. They have no security here. It's a piece of cake for let's get out there together and take pictures. You don't know, you might find a hand.
Oh, there's somebody waving.
There is.
Yes.
Do it.
Someone's waving them. They have no fucking chance of getting the fuck out. See? Mm-hmm. You see it waving? Did you get it? Mm-hmm. You see any hand holding it? Mm-hmm. Just keep it up. Keep 0-1 on that for a few minutes. As soon as the sun hits, maybe you'll like it. Wow, that guy's got a fire on his head.
He went back in.
No, I see a flame.
All right, so I cut that video short a little bit because I'm kind of tired of watching people fall out of buildings at this point. But I encourage you, please go to Reddit and search for Jack Talarisco or whatever his last name is. And you'll definitely get filled out a lot more if you don't know anything about that. But he calls that guy It, and he wants to make sure that he films him falling out the window. Now, the Jew is able to achieve perfection and transform himself to become limitless. He says the Gentile is just a part of God's creation, like a bug or an insect. And so if you kill a Gentile, it's just like killing a bug or an insect. And that's the way they view us. So, yeah, what a dick. So anyways, down here at the bottom, called 9/11 a new Pearl Harbor. So basically, so as above, so below. So many people say this, but they just don't fucking get it. So when Kamala and Harris and Biden were in the White House, what did they do? They opened up the borders. So as above, so below. So basically what they done with their technology and rituals and certain this shit is they have opened up the firmament. And that's why these things are coming in now. And yeah, so this is what I'm trying to warn you all and prepare you all for. So yeah, so you got Harbor, Mandela Bay, and remember this all started at Columbine. Speaking of dicks, did y'all see that last guy? If that's not in your face, I don't know what is. I don't know what it is, but this is where Alex Jones kind of got in trouble because that first lady right there was laying down. She's just fine. She's just fine. And then you have like priests like that guy with his ear. You know, they have these people walking around making sure shit's going down, and you would have never any idea about it. So anyways, so setting the stage. All right, if you remember from previously, watch your step. Let's get into the 91 harvest. And this is center stage right here, fellas. Let's get into this. All right, so you got some steps. You got MGM, Master Grand Mason, David Copperfield. You read right above Dave Copperfield's name. Alter your reality. Chris Angel, live. The #1 magic show of all time. But they're not talking about Chris Angel. Notice you also have the steps. Okay. Orange is always associated with MK Ultra. Now remember Bernie saying, hey, he's got a fire on his head. He has no way to put it out. They will never know this. The truth will be hidden in their faces, so close that they will be unable to focus on it until it's too late. Oh yes, so great will the illusion be of freedom that they will never know that they are slaves. They will live in self-deception. Their minds will be limited by the beliefs that, basically what they tell you to believe. Their minds will belong to us, and they will do whatever we say. If they refuse, we will find ways to use mind-altering techniques in their lives. We will use fear as weapons. We will establish their governments, and we will establish the opposition to their governments. We will own both sides. We will always hide our objective, but we'll carry out our plan. They will do the work for us, and just basically, mind-controlled slaves is what they've created. We have been under a spell for many, many of years, and it's time to break that shit. All right, let's get into the ceremony part. So, orange, MK Ultra, that would be just the, working class people. Then you have all of these people running, jumping through hoops, doing whatever they're saying. Blue is always trauma. So, doing the work. See how MK Ultra, we're pulling all this stuff in. We are bringing all of this to us without us knowing it. That's what they mean by us doing all the work. They have got us fucking just completely duped. So anyways, they do the ceremonies and their rituals and what have you. They bring in, the beast in chains. There he is. Then you have an archon right there, and you have all these people falling down on their knees. But right here, see that orange orb? That is what we want to focus on. Well, there they are. Those are the archons. They're not angels, they're not demons. Archons. Nothing more, nothing less. They are the demiurge's henchmen. If you'd like to know more, please search and educate yourself about Gnosticism. So yeah, that is who our government has been in contact with, not aliens or anything like that, just the archons. All right, like I was talking about, like the open air market, thanks to Biden and Harris. Portals are depicted as gateways or openings, allowing interdimensional beings, often referred to as aliens or demons, to traverse between their dimension and ours. The concept of these portals is tied to various historical and spiritual contexts, suggesting that they have been a part of human history and occult practices for a long time. The beings used porting these portals are portrayed as having the ability to influence events on Earth, interact with human societies, and even manipulate human perception and understanding of reality. Portals act as crucial mechanisms for interdimensional beings to enter and influence our world, blending the boundaries between physical reality, spiritually, and otherworldly dimensions. Now, why I know what I know about this is because I've had an archon up my ass for last like 8 years now, and the amount of illusion that these things can put in the perception of humans is so much farther than your understanding. I've seen it firsthand, and it's fucking frightening. It's very frightening what these things can do. Okay, now you have to remember that these people's technology is so far beyond ours. So like a lot of these people that'll tell you from Hidden Hand, they're a Lucifer soul group or whatever like that, and they're from the 11th dimension. Bullshit. They're not from the 11th. Their technology might be from the 11th dimension, but they're not from the 11th dimension. Don't let that shit fool you, man. These guys are just fucking humans as we are. They ain't nothing special. So anyways, we have this camera right here. And now there's a chick on YouTube that does a phenomenal job, don't know her name, but she talks about scientists coming out with this new camera that can detect like the bioluminescence of the soul leaving the body and shit like that. And they can also detect energies. And this right here, I believe, is a portal opening up behind these light shades or lamps in the building. So if a 6-foot-tall bunny rabbit ever asks you if you've seen a portal, you better tell him what's up, mine. Okay, I forgot to add. I know some of you might see Joe Ward when I was showing you those archons. You might see the date that it was 2016. And I know this. Now with occult magic rituals and ceremonies and stuff, you want to go by lunar cycles. So if you notice the moon in those past pictures, it's a half moon, same moon that was on the 9/11. So using the moon is way more powerful than actual date and times. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there for you guys. And here's another little example about their planning and everything. So you have the 2 towers right there, you got the stage on the right, you got the planes. Now those 2 towers right there were supposed to be a Ferris wheel that never got built back in the day, and that was all part of the plan as well. That's these guys have the power, the money, and the time to do all this, and which it's already been planned out. It's already been done and planned, and But I just wanted to show you guys, like how far in depth that this really goes. And here you have another little one, special event ahead. You don't really need to put that, especially on a back road in Vegas like that. The whole fucking town's a special event. An illusion that will be so big, so immense, that it will escape perception. Those who see it will be accused of being insane. We will create separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. That would be like Zionism, Illuminati, freemasonry, and all that. The real society, all connected. We believe our objects will be achieved drop by drop in such a way that they will never be the object of suspicion, talking about the timely manner that they've had this all planned out. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes when they occur, talking about the Mandela effect and time again. We will always be above their relative field of experience because we know the secrets of the absolute. I call bullshit on that one. We will always work together and remain united by blood and secrecy due to their inbred. Death will come to those who speak. Well, lucky for us, I died 8 years ago. All right, that concludes my presentation for you guys. This is the first ever video I've ever attempted to make about anything, so I know it was a little rough. I promise I will get better. So up here on the stage, we have this guy kneeling to what would be the beast system. Now, you guys have 2 options. You can master your reality or be mastered by it. If you want to master your reality, then stop waiting for a savior. That shit's not in the cards, and he ain't coming. If you don't, if you want to keep waiting for a savior and think about this Bible, how it's going to save your life, you might as well just get up on that stage and kneel right next to that guy, because your ass is going to be stuck here and keep coming on back. So by the end of all my presentations, I hope I'm able to give you keys to be able to get the fuck out of here. We'll talk about the demiurge, Maratona is his real name, Marathon, the human race. We'll get in about how the false light, the archons, what happens in death, all that. But the main thing, I just want to say that I really have been doing this for and want to make, public is the pedophilia shit. That shit has got to fucking end, and I don't care if it's one fucking body at a time.